matchups here that we've had in this whole event where I honestly just have no clue not who to root for, but who's actually going to come out on top and move on to the grand finals in this case, because it really is such an even matchup, it seems like. So here we are, though. The countdown has gone through. We are officially in game number 3, guys. Hopefully you are ready. More important question, are you ready, Trove?
I am ready. I'm ready to go.
Good stuff. Let's jump into game number 3, guys. We have It's Gosu taking on Trademark Esports. It's Gosu on the Legion side. Trademark Esports on the Hellborn side. Look at those blind bans. Exactly the same as last game.
Yep.
Just in the different order. So once again, It's Gosu bans Tundra despite having that first lock/pick, as well as Ophelia, and then, of course, Wild Soul and Tremble. All 3 games, I believe, blind banned by Trademark Esports. So they just do not want to let It's Gosu get those comfort heroes here.
Yeah, again. And still, the Tundra being banned by Insania when they're in first position. I guess I'll never know why. Maybe I'll ask him someday. Maybe if they win this and we get him on, I'll ask him. Because I actually really am curious.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But this lock pool seems to be okay. It was almost identical, I believe, to the last one.
It was. Yeah.
Very, very close. Then Parasite there is finally locked. I love Parasite, by the way. I don't think he's played enough. I think he's very, very strong. He can go in pretty much any lineup. He offers so much in the ways of being able to still get a fast level 6 and then apply pressure to a lot of different lanes, whatever lane you want, really. He is a little bit dependent on his creep spawn, a little bit of RNG there, but still, I love the hero regardless. Don't think we see him enough. I would love to see him in this game. I know Fane plays a very good Parasite.
Yes, he definitely does. So, yeah, quite a very strong lock pool yet again here, and you are right. I mean, at least 4 to the 6 heroes, I believe, are the same as last game. I think Tempest and Parasite are the different ones this time around, but still, even with those in there again, very, very strong lock pool right off the bat. Faded was banned by It's Gosu, goes into Plague Rider by tdM, and then Polywog Priest banned by It's Gosu. So finally, they're tired of facing Limp's Polywog Priest, as he did, of course, the first 2 games, and despite even that loss in the second game, I mean, once again, he played very, very well with it. So I think at least a very respectable ban there coming up from It's Gosu. And then for the follow-up for Trademark Esports, and now, of course, we have 2 more bans remaining in total, 1 for each team. We'll see how they finish off. Unlike the first 2 games, though, we're going pretty quickly through here. These phases so far, not too much extra time just to use. And why does I say that? Sure enough, It's Gosu using a little bit here, but for the most part, kind of flying on through. And so you go with Dark Lady. Magebane is on the board still, as well as Silhouette being locked, remember. And again, with the Fade B ban especially, going to be interesting. And the final ban is actually Draconis, so no Dargon.
Yeah, I actually thought, I was like, oh no, I hope they don't ban Magebane, because we want to keep Magebane in the pool if they decide to first pick, Silhouette or something on his Gosu. But then I forgot about the Draconis pick, and I was like, yes, ban the dragon. So he did. Dragon's just so hard to deal with. We've seen him time and time again in this tournament, and just how fast he can farm, as well as his late game potential with all that farm. So very, very smart ban from Minuts. And the first pick, we saw Insania the first pick in this position last time as Bubbles. We'll see if he does it again.
I'm kind of doing some just pondering here, more and more about the Zibe player, and I happened to be watching Kazu streaming earlier. He was screaming earlier against I believe it was against Q Squad was the match I was specifically watching. They were playing with a random 5th. His name was actually something like High MMR IRL or something like that. It was some random name, and everyone was trying to guess who it was. We never actually found out exactly who it was.
I don't think it's him. I asked Xander.
You don't think it's him? Okay.
I asked Xander if he could pull up, and I don't think Ziba is anyone I recognize. And I didn't see that name.
Well, the reason why I bring that, because first off, he did play mid that game. He actually played a mid shipper, and he dominated actually, and that was quite the impressive performance. He is right-clicking Chipper, so, and that kind of just hit me like, maybe it is him. They were screwing with him just before, but according to you, though, I guess doing some research, maybe it isn't. But anyways, obviously, no matter what, again, he did have a very good second game, like I said, and played very well for It's Ghost. So definitely a big reason for why they were able to help make a comeback there. So, but picks happening here for Forsaken Archer yet again from It's Ghost. So as you said last time, I mean, that's just a carry here that they apparently love all 3 games of the series. Magebane and Torturer, though, the follow-up picks here for Trademark Esports.
Yeah, I like Magebane. I mean, all of those really hard carries are banned, except for Silhouette is still in that lock pool. But it's going to be interesting once we get to that lock pool, because there's so much good stuff there. Just so many goodies waiting to be picked up. We'll see how they do it. I love Torture and Lockpick, by the way, because Torture is so versatile. And I've said time and time again, that's really the name of the game in Lockpick. It's versatility in these heroes. Can you have heroes that have multiple roles? That's why Luna is so good, too, because Luna can go mid. She can go short lane solo. She can be a second support. She can be hard. She can do anything. So that's why Luna is so popular in my mind, and that's why I think Torture is strong in that regard too.
Yeah. Yeah, Torture, we've seen him played in many different roles, as you're kind of putting a babysit, solo, definitely many different roles, even a trial lane focus around him. I mean, can really do it all, it seems like, here. So, Trademark Esports, definitely a strong pick for them. Following up the Magebane, as we said, of course, Fade being locked, or banned, excuse me. And Silhouette in the lock pool, as you also put it, but again, especially with these two picks already happening, you're probably going to pass up. Oh my gosh, how about that, though? Okay, interesting. Yeah. Oh, so it's not going to be a Moon Queen. Apparently, it's supposed to be a Magmus. So, yeah, that's. I was going to say that. Yeah. That is just weird. Why they would do that. But a Bombardier on top of that, of course. Again, Exhibit played a fantastic Bombardier last game, but apparently that's supposed to be Magmus.
Well, the bomb is supposed to be Mag, or
no? I'm guessing the Moon Queen. There's no way.
Okay.
Moon Queen is Mag. Yeah, there's no
Moon
way
Queen
they would go Moon Queen.
I was going to say, that could be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Although we did see Swindlemelons pick up Moon Queen once earlier in this tournament. And then Jeriah, we've seen him unbanned 2 games in a row, and right there, the tdM decides to pick him up. And Jeriah seems to be one of those heroes that is just every top team hates because of his cheese potential. I mean, he offers so much to a team. Really, in team fights, all you have to do is sit very, very far back with Jeriah and then come to the team fight with heals and protective charms and all that jazz once they initiate. And it's very, very strong, almost impossible to deal with in certain situations.
Now, there is a Parasite in that pool, but, that's kind of one of those cases, again, as we constantly talk about, that doesn't mean you can't pick up a Jeriah, but I also kind of like that because it doesn't force its Gosu to pick up Parasite, but it's almost as if it's Gosu that it's so much more tempting now to go that Parasite because you are going up against a Jeriah. And maybe that's not what they were planning on doing initially. Now, they do go Luna with the first pick and a quick Tempest Glacius to follow up from Trademark Esports, so they're very happy about that. It's Gosu. It's going to be interesting. Remember, that's a Magmus, not a Moon Queen, so you factor that into play.
It's trying to hold my thumb over it.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like, okay, take Moon Queen out. That's not actually a Moon Queen. They have some options here. This is going to be interesting because they could go Parasite, but that means they wouldn't be able to run a trial, and then they have to run a Luna Mag. Okay, so they are going to go Parasite. Probably going to be in a Luna Magellan with Forsaken Archer and Bombardier solo. Of course, it could be, depending on how they want to use the Mag. They could have a support Forsaken Archer at the same time, but as we talk about, that's not necessarily the most effective because of the lack of harassment. But anyways, we'll see how they ultimately do it. But I'm guessing, of course, we are going to have a remake here. That Trademark Esports team, though, that looks very powerful over there.
It does, but I think it looks more powerful if you factor that Tempest is going to go Suicide or short lane solo. I think it's better to have the Magebane with that. Well, see, now I don't know, because if you're going a tri-lane with Torture or Glacius with Magebane up against, say a Luna Mag Parasite, and Parasite gets a good creep like a Minotaur, that is extremely strong. You should not be able to win that. And actually, now that I think about it, I actually really wish that Minots decided to go for the Parasite over the Tempest. I think they needed that aggression to free up the map just a little bit more for Magebane.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and of course that would have prevented the Legion team from getting Parasite themselves.
Yeah.
To kind of again that despite him, despite him not necessarily being a again completely absolute hard counter to Jeriah, he does have he is a counter to an extent.
I think he's one of the better counters.
Oh, of course. I mean, the fact that not only he gets rid of it, but he steals it for himself. I mean, and he naturally.
Yeah, he steals it, and and his ult silences Jeriah.
That's true, yeah.
Whereas Electrician, if he purges, the Protective Charm, he can still cast heals, he can still do stuff. But
that's very true, actually. Yeah. So if you steal a Protective Charm, but again, very likely wouldn't have Protective Charm on himself. So.
Well, yeah, but
you could use it in that case as well. You don't have to use it to steal. You're right. Yeah.
The thing, and I've talked about the strategies of playing against a Jeriah. Really, you had the problem with Jeriah is it makes them forced to go on the Jeriah. That's the problem with picking a Jeriah.
Yeah.
Is you can't really. It's hard to win team fights with him sitting in the back, casting those heals, casting that ult, casting that protective charm. You really have to go on him. But if Jeriah is smart, he's going to sit so far in the back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, very right. Now, while we are doing this remake real quickly, I do want to give a shout out. I don't believe we have yet in the series, but shout out to the DreamHoN party. Because yet again, of course, as they have been every day, they are casting or having discussion about what's casted here on HonCast. And, of course, they are once again doing it today. So channel DreamHoN Space Party in game. And Xander K, our S2 Games Community Manager, he's leading the way with that, asking a lot of questions and giving you a chance to win some gold coins even. So definitely check it out if you haven't yet. Always some fun discussion going on in there, at least from what I'm told. But Game 3 has started. The countdown is going here from the Old Pit game. So let's go ahead and jump back into it now, guys. And as we see over there, it sure enough is Magmus. on the Legion side, not Moon Queen, so that is a good thing. We're going to have a pause here.
competitive pause.
Of course, to start. Yet again, another bathroom break. Let's see. It's a long series, man. Gotta do that. So apparently we're going to have a quick 2-minute break here. So see how that goes. But yes, what do you think its Ghost is going to do? Are we going to see a farming mag, or are we going to see a mag support this Forsaken Archer and a Luna solo? It is going to be a Luna with wards, though. She is going to be a Sender, so I guess that answers my question right there. Probably going to be in a Luna mag. By the way, oh, look at this Parasite skin. This is the Envy skin. I actually haven't seen this yet. Very interesting.
Oh, and you know what? Xander did just message me to confirm that Zibit is that guy that you were mentioning, best MMR.
He is.
He just confirmed that.
Haha, I figured him out.
He said he knows it's 6 minutes late, but still.
Well,
I like how he could just walk up here and tell me. But
there is the fact that he's literally 2 feet away from us, but he could just type it to you too.
That's a cool looking skin.
That is, yeah. I'm actually looking at it right now. Yeah, this is the Envy skin. This is one of the 7 deadly sins, which, by the way, the new one came out today, the Sloth, I believe.
Oh, who's that for?
Armadon.
Ah.
Go figure. Yeah, it's also another cool one, so always fun to see the new skins, and I personally think, getting better and better even, so. Anyways, that is interesting, though, because, again, like I was saying, there was only the one game that I watched, but he got an Annihilate, or an Immortal, even, on Chipper. Now, I think they ended up losing that scrim, as funny as that is, but he got an Immortal, so he obviously did very well. Now, they were doing some research on him before, actually, I know for a fact, when it was him earlier, because I was very curious to see who it was. And apparently, there's no trace of who it actually is. I mean, obviously, we have ways of checking IPs and whatnot to get some confirmation on who's who, but apparently, he's just an unnamed player that is happened to do fairly well there, and as we saw in Game 2, did fairly well. So maybe it's just, as strange as this is, guys, maybe it just is a new player on the scene that we haven't really seen yet that is a good player at the same time. So
can't be. It's impossible.
Yeah.
No, right. But as far as talking about lineups here, its Ghost's lineup I think is really, really strong. I actually favor it over tdM's. It's just very, very stun heavy, very mid game, but you also can secure that late game with Forsaken Archer. I just like it all around. I love Magmus Luna, and on top of that, I love Parasite. I just talked about that even before Parasite was picked finally by Insania. I just think Parasite's very, very strong. I don't think enough teams pick him. There was a reason why a long time ago we saw Fnatic ban him literally every single game.
Fly loves that hero. Sarcastically.
Loves to ban him, more like. But yeah, there's a reason why he was banned all the time. It's because they know that they know the power and potential of Parasite. Mm-hmm. And you put that on top of a Magmus Luna lane, I don't think there's very much that can deal with that unless they say they try lane up their Glacius Torture Magebane top, and they're able to get there very, very quickly. And as they say that, they're already up there, moving there. And if they can prevent some warding or even prevent Parasite from entering the jungle, that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, as you said, they are rushing up there. Now, Parasite also going up there with his the Marker Novice, as well as a 5 mana potions. It's definitely a build we see. Of course, trying to get that Ring of Sorcery as soon as possible, but also need the regen. But the Hellborn team will be here first. Excuse me, and they'll be able to protect this. Now, Wing Courier for the Legion team is kind of scouting it out a little bit. You see as they spot now, but there are 4 players here from its Gosu, where there's only 3 from tdM. And I say 3 lightly because it is a Magebane, and honestly, a Magebane at level 1 especially, he ain't the most effective when it comes to getting in a skirmish. So, especially since he has that flash ability, so he's more of a he could survive, but he ain't gonna do too much damage output. So this could be interesting actually. If its Ghost is actually able to catch a Magebane, you need to be careful. He's gonna kind of throw in some auto attacks, been a little bit risky, but yes, he'll be fine in the end, as he blinks away, of course, and is more than fine. Now, they do get the Ward of Sight down, as you would expect. There was also Fane placing a very defensive Ward of Sight here, actually in his own jungle entrance as well.
Power in numbers here.
Yeah.
Able to get the numbers, overpower them, and place that ward. And actually, we are going to see Pablo McDad in the Pablo McMid lane. There's a kind of funny joke, Pablo McLong lane, because he always goes long lane. Haha, so funny. Anyway, he is going to be mid with Torture up against this bomb. That's a quite even matchup, actually. It, really kind of comes down to rune control, to be honest. And so that'll be fun to watch. Now we're going to see this Glacius and Magebane top with support, hopefully, from Tempest. But that's the thing. That's what I talk about. This is what Complexity does a lot, but it seems like teams don't man up enough. Well, it's Ghost is manning up. And they're going to have the Parasite go up, this Tri-Lane go up against it. And the thing is Tempest has really, to be honest, very, very little to offer as far as support for this lane.
Yeah.
I mean, she can come. That doesn't mean she can't come and help and gank, but it's just not as effective as, say, if it was like an Ophelia.
Yeah, and you see here again, Magebane and Parasite actually running into each other. And on top of that, yeah, Parasite is a huge bane really to any jungler. I mean, that infestability just really screws you up as far as you getting some effective farm. And you see here, as you talked about, he's going to kind of go over. No, I guess he's going to wait, actually. He's going to wait for the minute mark to get this camp. Oh, look at Tempest. He's trying to get to the block it, and he's going to. Very well played by my nuts right there, actually. Taking one of his elementals to block the camp from Parasite. And you even see Insania right there giving him some credit. So, again, a very small thing, but it adds up. It prevented him from getting a Minotaur, Skeleton King even, and setting up a gank here at the top lane.
Definitely well done. And Parasite's going to have to, he's still level 1. Actually, I didn't mention this. I just assumed it was going to be Magnus Aluna, but it's actually Aluna Forsaken Archer in the top lane. And Magnus bottom against this Jeriah. Now, what we see a team like Complexity do, by the way, really job well done by MyNuts, but what we see Complexity do is they kind of just concede this top lane if they know they're going up against a pseudo tri lane. Now, as I say that, Parasite's actually made his way into his own jungle because he really has nothing else to work with up there because of the good job by MyNuts. But what we usually see Complexity do is actually concede it and have Magebane just solo, or whoever that carry hero happens to be, and a lot of movement will come out from the Glacius. But as I said before, Parasite has moved in the other jungle, and I think Magebane and Glacius can do just fine here. Yeah, and I'm actually curious, as that was a good job by Parasite once again. He killed him just out of range of the camp, and he gets the spawn at the 2-minute mark, and he goes back to doing that. You mentioned Umzai on Magnus going 1v1 against the Jeriah down here. Now, Magnus did choose to go Iron Buckler, so he did not go Hatchet, actually. But he has leveled up Volcanic Touch here at level 1. But again, obviously the Iron Buckler not nearly as effective against something like this Jeriah, you would think. Do you think it's a problem that he didn't go for a Hatchet, or is it really just not a big deal? Maybe he assumed he's going up against a Torturer. Well, I don't think he assumed he was going up against a Torturer. That'd be kind of silly for TDM to put Torturer here in the long lane. Although, we've seen it before. If you can safely call the lanes, you can put things you don't normally do in long lanes. But I don't know. I agree with you. I think I would have gotten a Hatchet as well, but it seems like he's doing a fairly decent job. He is 10-1. Jeriah is a little ahead, but the harass coming out, and it is now level 2 Volcanic Touch, so he doesn't even have 1 point in the Steam Bath, but that's going to do a lot of damage to him, actually. And Jeriah is getting rather low, especially in resources. Does he have a bottle? Oh, actually just pulled himself some generic regen. The Clarity popped, as well as one of the Rune of the Blight. Yeah, and then, of course, the Talisman of the Exile, so on his way to Ring of Sorcery, but Umza is definitely having a solid time, and I didn't mean to take away from his actual farm that he's having, but perhaps it could even be just a little bit better if he had that Hatchet. But anyways, doesn't have the Hatchet now. He has turned off the Volcanic Touch here, and this is always interesting to see. Now he turns it back on. He goes for the creep kill. Of course, the downside of an ability like Volcanic Touch, it will push up the lane in the opposition's favor if you're not careful with it. But it seems like Umzai, keeping that in mind and being pretty careful with it. But Limp and Umzai going at it here, and they're having a battle of creep kills. But you see the Volcanic Touch coming to play, but there's a heal bomb from Jeriah. So just a lot of back-and-forth harassment, really, coming out the bottom lane. Yeah, the good thing about Volcanic Touch is you actually don't even have to get the last hit on the creep, just as long as you're very, very close. Well, sorry, if the time limit there is actually really close to you getting the last hit, it actually dying. Because as you saw there, one of the creeps was denied, but it still triggered that Volcanic Touch. So this matchup is actually working out well for pretty much both heroes. They're both applying a little bit of harass, but none of them able to really kill each other. It's kind of hard to kill a Jeriah, even with a lot of harass coming out from that Volcanic Touch. Yeah, Exhibit here on Bombardier, he's winning this middle lane actually. 18-9 creep farm, 13-4 Torture, excuse me. So. Yeah, Bombardier once again, I guess unlike last game, he's actually winning this middle matchup here against Pablo McDad in this case. As you talked about, Polywar Priest last game, though, actually beat him. So Bombardier having a good time. And you mentioned from the beginning it should be a fairly even matchup, so I guess it surprises you a little bit? No, I think, it doesn't surprise me if one person wins. It's like, well, they just kind of outplayed him a little bit. But I think both heroes are very, very strong mid. And I haven't really been watching rune control at all, or seeing who's been getting runes. Is there even rune up? So that has a factor in it as well. Maybe Bomb got a good lucky rune that helped him out get some CS. So that all of these things factor into winning lanes. Nice job at the bottom lane. Just so happened my camera was on at perfect timing. I'm going to go and give myself a lot of credit for that. But very good job right there. Magma stunned in, and the airstrike from Exhibit on the Bombardier timed it perfectly right on top of Jeriah and got the easy kill. So again, that's the power of an ability like Airstrike being the global presence. At the top, and in the meantime, they get to go to Glacius, and Magebane, just nothing more he could have done. That's obviously a disadvantage of having a hero like Magebane
management in the lane. Not too much laning presence. If somebody gets caught, especially between Forsaken Archer and Glacier or Aluna, then in this case, obviously the Glacius, and not too much you can do to help. So good job, but good couple of kills here for its Gosu to start this game, and now they're up 2-0.
Yeah, I love Bombardier, by the way. Even before these small buffs, I just think the hero offers so much. As you saw, I mean, it takes nothing. It takes literally nothing no items or anything to be effective like that right when you hit level 6, similar to a Thunderbringer ulti, but the bomb ulti actually does a lot more damage. And you couple that on top of a stun with Magnus, a very, very good point stun. You could do a lot of damage from anywhere on the map very, very early on. So yeah, I love the hero, and it's fun to see its Ghost running him.
Yeah, and again, running it very well on top of that. So, great start again here for its Gosu. Now, Jeriah once again maybe in a little bit of trouble. You see Forsaken Archer actually porting down here. She is on level 6, but they're going to go for a combo right here. In comes a crippling volley on top of the lava. So now we're going to see a heal. Yes, he has Soul's Blessing as well. There we go with the protective charm. So everything used by Limp here on this Jeriah. And I believe it's, another stun actually in 2 seconds. They're going to tower dive big time right here. There's the stun and the final auto attack from Imzai to finish him off. 0 ports coming in from the Hellborn team. You know, none of them have homecoming stones, so it makes sense. It's just really unfortunate for Jeriah, and they're also going to pressure this tower. So great TP in from Keizu, actually.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you don't see every day a ganking Forsaken Archer, but hey, it worked, and they're going to get a lot out of it. They got a kill as well as this tower, and actually, just a minor thing. I think actually if Jeriah comboed that just a smidgen bit better. I mean, guaranteed he probably should have died, but he used that ultimate. I think he could have waited just a little bit on the protective charm, but either way, I think he was dead. Good roaming out. I mean, Magnus is level 8. This is why I love Magnus in the more, I don't like him in a support role. I think he's really benefits more from having these extra levels and extra farm.
Yeah. And Umsai definitely showing that. You are right, though, because it was a case of the protective charm was honestly useless when he used it, because they already used the crippling volley, they already used the lava surge stun. I mean, what was it going to protect after that? So other than maybe an airstrike, but that you got to assume that wasn't cooldown, which I believe it was, as he just used it not too long ago. So maybe he could have saved, and maybe that could have been the difference maker. But still, when you're in a panic mode, when you're in the heat of the moment, as we like to say, then unfortunately that can happen. So this is looking huge, though, for its Gosu. 3,500 gold already. They're going to massively push this bottom tower once again. Magnus actually stuns it on to Tempest. Now Jeriah is right here. So that was a very questionable decision from him. I don't know if he just didn't spot Jeriah. Maybe he was enough into the black there, but for whatever reason, he dove in, not really getting much out of it except losing a bit of life. He's going to go to the observatory, pick up the health potion, though, and he's going to quickly run away. Actually stuns it on Torture as Wildhunter comes out with Parasite. There we go, Bombardier the assistance. And then, the last second, the tap is ultimate pulls them in. This could be huge. Nice Aluna stun, though, to cancel it, and that's going to be the difference maker right there. Forsaken Archer, still in the midst of it all. She does have her ultimate, but both teams choosing to retreat, actually. Oh, man, that could have been huge for Trademark. That was a great, that's Jeriah for you. That's a turnaround potential. But Aluna, great timing on the stun.
Yeah, good. I mean, good job by who was playing that Senator. That could have been awful if he didn't get there in time to get that stun. But really perfect, absolutely clutch heal coming out from the Limp. I mean, I thought for sure Torturer is dead, but
yeah.
I mean, that's the power of Jeriah. Has so much to offer in these, kind of mini skirmishes or team fights, whatever you want to call them. But just is such a strong hero. We see why he's banned so often.
Now, Magebane here, he's got a helm with the Black Legion, so keeping a close eye on his farm as you would like to do, especially if you're this Legion team. 280 GPM. He is farming 43 in a creep farm. Obviously, while that action was going at the bottom lane and even that bottom rune, he was farming this top side freely here, and it is showing right now with his farm. Now, helm with the Black Legion, are you fine with him going that first?
Definitely. I mean, I'm personally, when I play a Magebane, I don't like it in the item. I think Rune Cleaver is the best way to go. It just maximizes your farm. But he's not getting any farm, and this is a team completely of early aggression, lots of stuns, lots of magic damage, so I hope he gets a Vestment on top of that.
Yeah.
But I think it's really a necessity at this point. He's going to have to get that. So, yeah, definitely the item to pick up this game.
Well, we see right here a lot of push coming out from our Legion side. So, I mean, you look at the lineup, maybe wouldn't hit you right off the bat, but they already have 2 tower kills now coming up to the 10-minute mark here, both at the bottom and the top lane, and it's been easy tower kills. I mean, it's just a matter of overwhelming them. Now, they are pushing up. The Hellborn team, they are setting themselves up in somewhat decent position here to maybe make something happen, but Tempest Ultimate is down. So unfortunately, they will not be able to use that. Torture gets caught up to the side, so Pablo McDaniel in a little bit of trouble. Parasite already using that face hug, but Torture will get away in time. Tempest running again. Tempest gets stunned, though. Jeriah is not here. That is a big deal, actually, in favor of its Ghost. A crippling volley misses, and Glacius will survive for now. As a result, Magebane thought about a mana rift to look like, but he doesn't use it. However, Pablo McDaniel does get picked off in the end, as he was just too far away. Nice Novice Surge done. The crippling volley on top. Nice heal at the last second, though. Protected Charm. Great job of Jeriah. Perfect timing. His part by Magebane now getting Minotaur stunned, but he'll blink away before too much happens. And it looks like that's going to be the final push there from its Ghost. Or will it be? They're going to go to the tower now and keep up this pressure. So, man, you said a lot of early aggression here from its Ghost.
Tons of early aggression. And, I mean, Jeriah, he was trying to get some farm, and he was able to save Tempest, actually. So, good job by Limp yet again. But, I was going to say Tempest Ultimate is actually off cooldown, so
yeah.
I didn't even see what she used it on earlier. But oh no, it was there at the bottom.
Was
got
the
canceled.
bottom,
yeah, so that's unfortunate. But things are looking, I think, still okay. Magebane hasn't died yet. His farm isn't exceedingly high. Forsaken Archers is, though. I mean, she's doing very, very good. She's at 340 gold per minute, as well as Bomb is at 3. I mean, 3 of these heroes actually are about 340 gold per minute. Magnus, Bomb, and Keisu right there.
Yeah.
And actually, Parasite in a little bit of trouble. The stun's coming out. The airstrike does a lot of damage to Torture. The stun coming out onto Tempest. Tempest might fall, but Torture able to rectify that problem. And actually, Homicidal, coming out. Magnus does the ultimate. It's going to do not that much damage. The FA ulti actually hitting nothing there.
Geez.
The ulti coming out from Limp as well. And now I think tdM, or sorry, it's Ghost who's in retreat mode.
Yeah, that was a little bit sloppy there at the end for its Ghost, but it's definitely a lot of panic going around after that Torturer kill. They thought they had a sure thing, didn't work out. Obviously, Jeriah there with the Protective Charm and the Soul's Blessing even coming out, so eventually able to save them. Now, he wasn't able to save Torturer. That was unfortunate as he got there just a little bit too late. Now, he chose to use the Protective Charm actually onto Tempest right as Torturer died. That could have probably saved him, but Tempest was also low, so I definitely get the logic there. And I think Tempest Ultimate was ready to go, or at least coming up very, very shortly. So maybe they're thinking they could have had that working. In the end, though, for whatever the reasons, Tempest Torturer died, but he is back up now, ready to fight, and a fight may be happening once again here in the middle lane. Magnus actually dropping pretty low. The sticky bomb hits no one but that Craves, but Magnus stuns on a Tempest. Actually, the crippling volley comes out. Will he survive? Oh, we thought about ulting. It looks like there's a Protective Charm, but the steal from Parasite. That's why you get Parasite against Jeriah. He takes the Protective Charm, and they drop Tempest there as a result. Forsaken Archer also has a double damage and a haste rune activated, by the way. Didn't even realize that. But they may push this middle tower now here.
I mean, right there you see exactly how Parasite's a great counter to Jeriah. And I would almost just say a hard counter. I mean, we talked about counters to Jeriah. What comes to mind is the Electrician Purge, but really that stealing abilities from Parasite as well, just silencing them. I mean, it just demolished Tempest right there, even when you thought it was fine with that Protective Charm.
Yeah.
And a good job. And also on top of that, one thing to think about is if this gets to the later game and Tempest say has a Portal Key Shrunken Head, he can still cancel that with his ultimate, with the Face Hug ability. It can still cancel that. So that's another thing to think about.
Now, if he gets a Null Stone.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that would be awesome.
That's a lot of farm.
That is a lot of farm,
So.
but that would be. Yeah, if he got Null Stone Shrunken.
Well, no. What do you think, though? Because, again, they do have a Jeriah applying a Protective Charm. Do you think Tempest should maybe look to get a Null Stone over a Shrunken Head here because of that?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, but right now the way that his farm is looking, I mean, he's only 240 gold per minute. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be a ways away, but yes, that's a very, very good point. So if he does go for Null Stone and gets that Portal Key, nothing can really counter except for maybe push books on the teammates, but that's about it.
So overall, again, right now looking pretty good here for its Ghost. I mean, just like last game, although not as extreme perhaps, but still, Forsaken, Magnus, and Bombardier, all 360 gold per minute plus between those three. So fantastic game coming up for them. Now Bombardier, he's finding himself in a tough spot. Chain reactions will hit. The Protective Charm on Torture, so nothing Magnus can do. But in the end, it won't matter. He saw Parasite coming, and he was ready to face hug to steal that. But Torture reacted, and no harm, no foul, really. But again, overall, big picture looking good for its Gosu. But you cannot forget about this Magebane. He's got Steam Boots finished now. He just picked up a Mystic Vestments, actually, so especially against this Legion team. Very smart pickup. I believe you even mentioned that earlier. And Noob G is sitting just around 300 gold per minute now himself. So really, you can almost get why its Gosu is trying to play so aggressive early on. And it's been working for good reason, but again, they obviously are a little bit worried about that Magebane, and you don't want to give him too much time to just start coming back and ultimately taking over the game. So The more aggressive play that's coming up from its Ghost is definitely making more and more sense here. Torture currently invisible, though, here at the top side. This could be a good setup for them. Forsaken Archer kind of caught out now. They need to be careful, though, because the Legion team has a lot here. Jeriah coming in, though. There's a protective charm on a Tempest. Are we going to see a steal paving from Parasite? He's running in. Yes, there's a steal at the last second, so the piercing arrow is going to do a lot of damage on Magebane Falls. Oh, a decent airstrike right there. Oh! The invulnerability at the last second with the freaking Soul's Blessing for Jeriah comes out, keeps everyone alive somehow. Magebane in the front lines. The lead's going to be used on him. Chain reactions will hit, though, and Forsaken Archer is going to start melting away. Sticky Bomb lands on a Magebane from Bombardier, and now Magnus actually, he bought back. He comes back in right here. Limp gets a kill. Magnus turns in with the Eruption. Not going to go. Magebane plays at the last second. Will survive, and the Eruption gets canceled on Magnus. You see the Catman Champion take it over by Parasite. He is chasing down, but he is running low as well, and he needs to get the hell on out of there. So what a crazy fight there. No one dies, though, on tdM.
Really, really clutch stuns that whole time from Paulo McDowd. I watched him the whole time and just hitting everything. And that was actually what was going to be a very interesting combo with the bomb, the stun with a sticky bomb on top of the hero, and then the Magnus channeling the ulti. But again, that stun coming out from Paulo McDowd canceled it, and a really good job by him. Also, a very fantastic job by Ziba there. He was able to combo a number of spells while at the same time push-booked, or Tablet of commanded that Forsaken Archer was pushing him to safety. So really, really well played by Ziba as well.
Yeah, both teams definitely had shining moments there, but really, again, more and more, despite Parasite being there, being able to steal abilities, I mean, stealing a Soul's Blessing after it's used initially to keep somebody alive, I mean, obviously, sure, that's good still, but the job was still done by Jeriah. They got the initial second off. You know, it reminds me of Rhapsody, as rare as we see her, but, granted, yeah, sure, you can interrupt a Rhapsody, but if Rhapsody times it perfectly like a Soul's Blessing, then you use it at the point where it may have been the killing blow, and it's already done its job in that sense. So,
right.
And I think that was a case of it right there, where we used it at the last second. I think it was Torture that was so low, but barely saved him. And yeah, so that's just a big thing, right? Big deal right there. So we did see again, though, Parasite did steal a Protective Charm in the midst of that fight and set up what was appeared to be a Legion team victory. But again, in the end, it wasn't to be. Noob G on Magebane. His farm does continue to go up now. 1,400 gold actually saved up here.
Yep, and we just see, we could actually, Limp uses a TP there but cancels it. I don't know what that was about. Maybe he just saw that Magnus was coming mid and he wants to support this Magebane. Magebane blinking back in, trying to get some mana burn coming out onto that Magnus, but not going to get very much. But yeah, we just see the power of Jeriah in these team fights. It just is so strong. I think I saw Codex finished by Insania. I might be wrong, but we just see a lot of power coming out from Jeriah in these team fights. He offers so much. Very, very clutch Soul's Blessing there. That perfect time for Tempest. And yeah, I mean, we're seeing why this hero is banned all the time. And despite the fact that Parasite is a good counter to him, just the fact that you can still heal your teammates is very strong. That heal does a lot for your team. Yeah. I mean, it's 360 health as well as dealing damage as well. So that's 720 health difference. It's very, very big.
We see Forsaken Archer right here doing some triple stacked Ancients. Obviously getting some assistance from Cinder on Aluna, but eventually takes him out, already using the piercing arrows on top of that, which was level 1 at the time, but she just hit level 11. So, of course, now is level 2. You talked about Parasite, obviously finishing that Codex, and he also went the Blood Chalice as his first item of choice. So that is something, again, it's not an item we see too often, but it did get the buff with the mana regeneration now being applied. So you can argue that it's actually pretty worth it. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Magnus in a little bit of trouble right here. In comes from behind Tempest, but the nice into the last second. Ports are coming in. This could be a big deal. You see the invulnerability from the actually the Protective Charm, the Eruption going out from Magnus, but no one hitting. He was hoping that they were going to commit right there. Parasite running in. He wants to steal that, but the nice port out at the last second from Jeriah right before the sticky bomb was going to hit. There's the face hug going to Torturer, and he will fall. Who cares if it doesn't steal anything? It does a damage and the silence as well. A nice sticky bomb explosion hits Tempest, and actually Tempest now. The Tempest ultimate, no. But what are you doing? I mean, there was no one nearby, so that was just complete waste of an ultimate there from my nuts, unfortunately.
Yeah, oh man, no one was even close. That was such a horrible decision right there. And now when he reses in 30 seconds, he's going to have 140 seconds of completely no ultimate. That is huge. That's very, very unfortunate. That was a big swing for its Ghost, who's well played by them. And they're going to catch Jeriah right here. Protective Charm, though, comes out, cancels a sticky bomb here. So that'll keep Limp alive for now. But you see the potential that this Legion team does have as far as jump potential. Not only was it a
Wow, I thought it was a Portkey Magnus, but no, that was just a Max Millage Lava Surge stun. He doesn't even have Portkey yet. He went for Ring of Sorcery, Ghost Marchers. I'm guessing he's going Portkey next, so he will have that actually very likely going to the next fight. But also the Tablet of Command on Bombardier, of course, also helps get them in there. So all across the board, again, things are looking pretty good here for Ghosty because really, KSU on Forsaken Archer, he is also having an awesome game now. He's almost going to get caught by Glacius right there, but falls back before. He has a Blessed Orb, another 2,500 gold saved up. So I'm actually assuming that, is he going to be going for Nullstone here, actually? I'm not sure. That's what we go for, or is it going to be the Geometer's Bane?
I think Geometer's Bane would be a little bit smarter of a choice.
Yeah.
Geometer's Bane Shrunken Head here is something that I think would be good for KSU. He's farming very, very well, almost 400 gold per minute. It seems like he keeps going to the Ancients here. Now he's going to go again, stack him, and farm him yet again. Maybe with that ultimate, maybe not. But either way, oh, actually he's going top to farm that. So he is going to leave the Ancients alone for now. I think he actually could have done that and saved a little bit of farm for Luna Top, who is only level 7, being played by Sender there. Actually, if you look, though, Fane is having a harder time. He's only sitting at 0-1-1 as far as his hero score goes, and then only 97 gold per minute. So
yeah,
things are definitely looking the way of his go-to now. tdM is still in it. They have lots of late game. They got Tempest, Jeriah, and Magebane.
Well, you look at Magebane. That's why, I said that myself, but I looked at Magebane and I'm like, actually, I mean, he's getting really scary now. Now, bottom lane, Limp is actually going to get caught here by Magnus, but once again, we see the face hug used. Now, before he did anything, so really not able to accomplish a whole lot right there. And Jeriah is more than fine. Middle lane, Bombardier, Fizz comes out. He misses a sticky bomb, though. That was unfortunate. I really don't think it would have mattered in the end, but kind of a little bit of an embarrassing moment there for Xibby on Bombardier. But again, no harm, no foul. He should be fine. Or will he, actually? Tempest is chasing. Doesn't have a Portkey, though. So, yeah, I believe Bombardier should be fine. And at the top lane, look at Magebane. Speaking of Magebane, just right-clicking Forsaken Archer up here, all the way back beyond the tower. So, but yeah, that Magebane, he has a Firebrand, another 1600 gold saved up. Another Eruption from Magnus, another Eruption, missing nearly everyone. There goes the stun on Tempest. The Bombardier ultimate comes out, and yes, actually, very good placement, hit multiple heroes. Glacius falls as well for the Codex from Parasite. Jeriah, unfortunately, the Protector Charm was on Torturer, and not able to do too much in the end. Torturer is going to get caught after the Protector Charm wears off, so 3 kills just like that coming out from Gosu, and now they're going to push you in the middle lane.
I mean, they have a great lineup. Like I said at the beginning, they have lots of stunners on this team. Magnus is just so good at this is where Magnus shines. I mean, the stun cooldown is so low. Even though the ultimates aren't, necessarily connecting, that's not the biggest deal. The biggest deal is that Magnus is able to get these stuns over and over multiple times throughout a team fight.
Yeah.
Or skirmish, whatever you want to call it. And that's where this team is really shining. I mean, this mid to late game is where they're going to shine the most. And if if tdM wants to win this, I think they're going to have to take this to the late game.
Oh, Magebane. Okay, I was going to say, if more ports were here, then that could have been really dangerous. But it's just Parasite. So he just throws in a leech, says, gotcha, and then Magebane just quickly runs away. God, but Magebane, again, as well as that was for Gitskosa, yeah, I mean, this is such a good late game as you put it. Tempest, Magebane, Jeriah, even Torture can scale so well going to the later game stage. It's by no means should Gitskosa feel very happy. I mean, they should feel happy, of course, that they have a lead, and that's the good thing, and at least they're not behind. That would be horrible, but you cannot be like, all right, we got this game secured. Not that they are saying that, but again, just to kind of get in their heads a little bit, you can't be saying that. So, you got to keep playing your game if you're Gosu, which has been a very aggressive paced game and an awesome team fight team and good at picking off people as well. And you see Forsaken Archer, obviously as we usually like to talk about whenever we see Jeriah, are we going to see a Nullifier Blade? She has a level 2 Nullifier Blade purchased. So that's what she was saving up all that gold for, actually. She didn't even use the Blessed Orb, at least just yet. She goes straight for a level 2 Nullifier Blade, and she denies the middle tower in the meantime, by the way. It's pretty well job, but what do you make of that?
I think it's really, really smart here. I think you can bank on no one on that team getting a Nullstone very quickly by any means. I mean, sometimes when you're, say, up against a Silhouette, or it's like a Silhouette Jeriah, you can assume that Silhouette's going to get a Nullstone. Like, that's just the core item, especially when you have a Jeriah on your team. But not so much on this team. Like, yeah. Magebane probably not going to get one. We never see Magebane with a Nullstone, although it's not, unheard of, but we just usually never see it. And so it's going to be effective. It's going to purge off these charms.
Speaking of Magebane, oh, the miss stun from Magnus. That is huge right there. That was a chance for them to jump Magebane. Instead, he's going to counter on the Legion team, throwing in some auto attacks. You see the Leech coming out, but the Hellborn team is ready to go. So, I mean, you could argue that maybe it's for the best that he missed that stun because there was support nearby for the Hellborn team. So if he landed the stun, the Legion team may have fully committed to it as a result. and that could have been pretty bad for them. So, kind of a big deal that he missed it, but at the same time, in the big picture, maybe it was for the better for its Gosu. But got to hit those stuns, when it does come down to those clutch times, of course. And it does seem like Zai, we talked about the eruptions, haven't been the greatest. You said, though, as long as he's hitting the stuns, that's really what matters. Right there, he did miss, but maybe it was just simply to scare him. Who knows? Maybe that was Zai's plan all along.
Highly doubtful, but I don't think that was the biggest deal in the world. I mean, he's trying to look for openings. Sometimes heroes go in and out of fog, and it just kind of screws you up. And that shit happens. It happens from time to time. But, yeah, unable to capitalize on that. Like you said, that I think the Hellboy team was ready, so maybe that was for the best. Who knows? Only time will tell. But Forsaken Archer still farming very, very well. 425 gold per minute now. Again, yeah, I just wanted to say that Nullfire Blade is a very, very good pickup this game.
Yeah.
She is still quite squishy at this point, but there's not really that much initiation coming from the Hellborn team. Like, it's basically sit behind Magebane, let him farm, and hope for the best till late game. That's really what it is. I mean, Tempest doesn't have a portal key, so they have no initiation. She does have a tablet of command. I really think... I agree with you. I think if Tempest is focused on something like a portal key Nullstone here, very, very... just that was her main focus this game, they could have really done some damage. It's unfortunate. Minus is 0, 3, and 4. It doesn't have the greatest farm, so not going to get that anytime soon. But things are looking really good for its Ghost. You're applying a lot of pressure now. Maybe looking to press this this tier 1 or tier 3 tower here, but probably not. They're just going to do a little bit of damage and fall back.
Yeah, I think it's definitely they want to, again, just knock on the door a little bit, get tdM a little bit worried, but fall back and make sure to get Forsaken Archer definitely more farm, whether that's the Geometer's Bane next or maybe even the Shrunken Head pickup, something like that. But although I don't think Shrunken Head would necessarily be the greatest pickup against this Hellborn team, so maybe not necessarily needing that. But again, just get her at least her next big item before you really try to push through. We do see Magebane, though, roaming towards the middle lane, and going to say hi at least and then fall back himself. He has another 2,000 gold saved up. It seems like the Hellborn team has pushed this bottom tower like 5 different times. They're finally going to kill it, though, here. And there we go. So,
dead.
Yeah, finally dead. They got that out of the way at least. And, nice little gold swing. Someone in their favor. Although, overall, the gold still is in favor of its Ghost. 8,000 gold lead, 4,000 experience lead. But especially when you're dealing against a Magebane, especially paired with a Tempest and a Jeriah, you can never be too happy. But you are right that you look at the Hellborn side, and they need to be together as a team to really have a chance, because individually they don't really have the greatest damage output. I mean, they really are relying a lot on Magebane just getting mass farm and being the big damage dealer in these fights. And he chose not to go Geometer's Bane, or Rune Cleaver. Again,
right.
not that that's crazy different by any means, but I do think when you're relying on a Tempest ultimate, at least that may be the idea to maybe go in and gather them all up, bring them close together. The Rune Cleaver, as great as it is for farming, it's also a great cleaving tool in team fights for a hero like Magebane, and he won't have that ability.
Yeah, again, I am a very big advocate of Rune Cleaver. I think it's very, very good and very, very standard. But this, you have to adjust your, like a good player does, you always have to adjust your builds according to what you're playing against. And I really feel like Noobsy made the right decision here with his item choice. I think if he did go for the Rune Cleaver after that Helm of the Black Legion, he was just not farming very quickly. He would have been useless, and his team would have just died over and over. I mean, he is 0 and 0-0. Don't get me wrong, but he's still been around and tried to been active and tried to be a little aggressive, try to get some mana burn off on heroes so they can't cast all their spells. And I just think he would have had no presence whatsoever in this game. If he did go for that Rune Cleaver. Now, you could say that it would help out in the very, very late game, but hindsight's 20/20. I mean, you simply don't know how the game is going to turn. And you could also say that maybe since he didn't go for that Rune Cleaver, it's Ghost who thinks it's a little bit safer to actually sit back and farm, since he's not going to be able to farm as quickly. So it goes both ways.
Yeah, definitely fair points to bring up there. So, his GPM by no means is it taking off.
Still very good,
It is still very good, yeah. 440 gold per minute, and he's at least keeping on par with that Forsaken Archer, who is about 20 gold per minute ahead himself at 460. And speaking of that, what did she just purchase? I mean, she just spent a ton of gold. Okay, it's going to be a Frostwolf Skull, actually.
Wow.
Going to be coming out from KC, so yeah, that's going to be level 2 Nullfire Blade on top of a Frostwolf Skull, really about 30 minutes into the game. Damn good farm there on Forsaken Archer. Do you like the Frostwolf Skull choice?
I think their idea is just to live in these team fights, because right now I don't think Hellborn has very much damage. I really don't. I don't think they're going to be able to kill this Ghost team. And if you tank up even more, it's going to be hard. And actually, Shrunken Head was finished onto Magebane right there. Gotta say, I really, really like that pickup, considering the fact that he doesn't have a Null Stone, and that Protective Charm, you cannot rely on it, especially now with Purge up on the Forsaken Archer, as well as the Face Hug from Parasite.
Yeah, and you talk about that all the time. It's like the logic of, wait, you have a Jeriah with the Protective Charm. Why would you go Shrunken Head? Well, again, it does multiple things. One, the Protective Charm can't always be up. You are dealing against a Parasite especially, and a Nullfire Blade, so those are good reasons why it will be just taken down for that matter. And then two is that, if anything, it frees up Jeriah to use Protective Charm on somebody else. I mean, it doesn't mean he'll need to use it on a Magebane here because of that Shrunken Head ability. So yeah, definitely a very good pickup here for Magebane. And we have been in a Null phase, actually, for a good now 10 minutes even here. I mean, it started off pretty action-oriented, but it has slowed down, and it's hard to say who the favorite that is for. I mean, I could definitely see why both teams, may want to slow this down a little bit. But if you're at Gosu, there does come a point where it's like, okay, now we want to push, and I think that's going to be coming up here shortly. As Bombardier actually maybe in a little bit of trouble. Granted, a Vulture Lord is here from Parasite and going to throw a tornado on him. I guess that was enough to scare the Hellborn team. Maybe they figured more numbers were here. But that was actually a chance to catch him. But he's going to be fine in the end. But as I was going to say, I think this is definitely getting to a point of its Gosu, especially with that Frostwolf Skull finished on Keizu here on Forsaken Archer. Maybe we should start making something happen. Because the longer you wait, the more and more farmed Magebane will be. And the higher levels as a team they'll get. And you're dealing with a level 3 Ultimate Suit from Tempest. Soul's Blessing level 3 is still a little bit off, so not necessarily too worried about that. But also a Torturer. He's got his Shrunken Head now finished, and that's going to allow him to stand in those fights and do a ton of AoE damage here. So,
yeah, Hellflower is picked up on Maximus. That's going to be huge, considering especially the fact that Magebane did pick up that Shrunken Head, and that is a perfect counter to it. Now, granted, Magebane can just pop the Shrunken Head and go in, but it's not always that easy. Sometimes you have to wait around for the perfect time to Shrunken Head so you get the full effectiveness out of it.
Yeah.
So Hellflower big pickup by Zion, playing that Magnus.
Bombardier loves Sheepstick, man. He did it last game, and he just purchased an Acolyte staff with the Blessed Orb, so he is yet again going to be going for Sheepstick. And what do you make of that? I mean, going that over a Hellflower in these cases.
I mean, I think Sheepstick is always, I said Hellflower good pickup by Magnus, so I think Sheep would have been just as fine against Magebane. Sometimes people like Sheep against heroes that are a little quick, have... I mean, sometimes if you just Hellfire Magebane, you can just walk away because his movement speed is so fast.
Yeah.
So, when you have a Sheepstick, it's easy to lock him down and have him just stay there. And also, Sheepstick gives you a little bit more survivability. That plus 10 stats from the Blessed Orb helps just a bit. So, there's some pros and cons, but overall, I think Hellflower is just a little bit better item.
Yeah, but still, it's a case of, it's not like you're going to rag on him by any means. So, yeah, definitely good, by all means, a great pickup there for its Gosu as a team, and they are grouping up here at the top lane now. So I think that apparently that was really the go-to item that they're waiting for. Feeling very confident here. So this is the last outer tower, and it is not even going to remotely be defended. tdM is, as long as we have our base, we still have a chance, and we're good with that. So they let the last outer tower fall, and now here comes the Bush base. Base push. Wow. I had to think for a moment there what the hell I just said. But yeah, here comes the base push from its Gosu. This is such a timid point. I mean, again, so much money. This is a $3,500 difference on the line here just for the second, third place teams. And then, of course, the winning team, they'll have the chance to compete against Complexity to win that $20,000 first place prize, as well as invite to DreamHack winner 2012. So really, I mean, this is game number 3. It's win or be finished. So much is on the line, and, well, you see it's Gosu. They fall back. Magebane was still kind of blinking around down here. Now, he needs to be a little bit careful. If he exposes himself, he could be in a lot of trouble, actually. I don't think they know where he is, though. And
that Magnus is looking for him. He has a Hellfire ready to go. A lot of heroes down here. Casey's still in the mid lane farming. That's a good job for him. But, yeah, Magebane, I'm actually very, very impressed how much his farm has grown this game, considering the fact that he does not have any kind of, massive farming tool like a Rune Cleaver. He's right up to par there with Keizu. I mean, just sitting right behind him, 464 to 473 on Keizu. And yeah, I'm very impressed by Noob G. I'm curious to see what item he does go for now. It almost seems like the defensive items are the way to go, but at the same time, it's going to be hard because I don't think you have the damage to take out this Legion team unless you get a massive hole from Tempest, but you really can't expect that this game against these heroes.
Not having a portal key, and again against these heroes, it'll be so damn difficult.
God.
So
double damage bottled up on Forsaken Archer.
Oh no, and this is just such a prime spot now here for our Legion team, and of course they are going to take advantage. Now my nuts on Tempest, he's pushing that top lane in the meantime, but he's going to port back. Oh, that's a dangerous port spot actually from Tempest. You got to wonder about that a little bit, but he is going to be fine to the end. Now, granted, it did get a Soul's Blessing, or not Soul's Blessing, but a Protective Charm used on it right away, so that'll be on cooldown now for a little bit from Jeriah. But yeah, my nuts right there. A little bit hasty port, and almost got himself caught out. But in the end, like I always say, no harm, no foul. He's fine in the end. Magebane kind of pushed up, farming up in the front lines. God, you could just feel the tension, man, between these two teams. Both teams, especially this Legion team, I mean, they want to jump this tdM so badly, but they're playing so cautious. And there's the Nullstone purchase on Tempest. Yeah. So he has that now, and as we talked about, that on top of the Protective Charm. Now, if they coordinate this between a Nullifier Purge as well as the Face Hug from Parasite, then there still is possibility, but...
Well, yeah, here's the thing, though, is... If you're Tempest, you gotta assume that you're gonna get one of them in the ultimate, right? So you're gonna have to get the purge coming out from Keizu, and then on top of that, the face hug right after that, or something of that nature.
So if one of them are caught, it's pretty much ruined.
Basically. So his thinking is like, well, I should be getting someone caught in there. Like I should be getting that Forsaken Archer or the Parasite caught, and hopefully he does. Now he does pick up an Invis rune here. They don't have a sentry down here. Actually, they do. They did see that, and there was a sentry down here. But I really think Midas has to wait for his blink. I really think a portal key is in store. I don't think Pushbook is just going to be good enough. It doesn't give you nearly as much range. So we'll see. Now, the interesting thing is, as this game gets very, very passive, as it has...
Oh, no. I'm sorry. He's sitting right on top of Rev. Okay, he gets stunned, but he's just out of range. There's another Rev, but he's going to be fine. You said it. There was a Rev there, and he was literally standing right next to it. He is so lucky that they took him just a little bit too long to jump in because he fell back right as they were going in. God, that was close.
Yeah, I think he might have just gone right into the fade, and actually another Word of Revelation placed out by Center to try to catch him. But, God, that would have been close. That probably would have been game, honestly. Probably would have been game.
It would have been close. And on that note, again, buybacks, that's always something you have to start thinking about now. There's Protective Charm. Now he's running by all these Word of Revelation. I mean, he's got to know something's here. So yeah. I'm a little bit curious as to why he's acting like there's nothing. But, yeah, he's going to fall back completely away from his team, mind you. He is literally by himself in no man's land over here. Oh, dude, this is so scary right here. He is going back in. He's going to be fine. God, he's playing so risky here, and it just somehow is working. I mean, maybe from its go-to perspective, it's probably like, again, they can't see what we can see, so.
Right.
But they're probably like, there's no way he'd play that far up without having support nearby. But he literally had no support nearby right there. That was a very dangerous play by Tempest. But here comes a pause by tdM, apparently, and apparently getting a little bit of lag, so.
I like this pickup there by Magebane as well. The Ice Brand, probably going to be another Frostwolf Skull seen in this game. That's very, very strong. It's going to keep teams. It helps it so that they can't kite you as much. Now, they do have some push books. Well, some. It's really only one push book, and it's on Bomb. And that's good, but the slow is so slow when you have that Frostwolf Skull on a melee hero especially. And that's really, really good for him.
Now, they're actually bringing up an interesting point in chat. Of course, this game was remade, remember. It wasn't remade tournament rules. Now, that isn't the biggest deal in the world. All that really would do is it obviously locked down a couple of heroes to be picked, the newer heroes, which didn't have any impact anyways. It does allow for the new Soul Stone. What is it even called? I'm totally blanking now. The two new items to be picked up: Sacrificial Stone and the Icon of the Goddess, which obviously got to rework. So obviously, it's safe to say that you just don't purchase it.
Right.
But it is a fair point to bring up, and it's kind of a case of they definitely should have made a tournament rules. But again, it's not the biggest deal, and I hope that it's really not made into one, to be honest. But
yeah, I don't think people will buy, and if they do decide to buy those, they'll probably ask in all chat.
Yeah. And
then we'll just confirm that. But Forsaken Archer is still the top farm in the game. She's 0-1-3. We've had so much passive play right now. 11-4, 15 kills in 38 minutes. Nothing like the last game we saw, or really last two games. I can't believe we're in game 3 already.
I know.
But, yeah, Forsaken Archer hoarding up a little bit of gold, 4K gold right there. Now, despite the good items, I mean, I like the pickups, but she's actually doing very, very little damage. Her auto attack damage is only 148 to 154. And you compare that to Magebane, who actually doesn't have really damage items of his own, but he also has that mana combustion, as well as it propagates to illusions. So FA, hopefully going to go for maybe something like a Savage Mace here, or maybe even a Geometer's Bane, but she needs to start getting some damage done.
Well, I think that kind of goes, you mentioned that earlier. I mean, really it's a case of Forsaken Archer going for more about surviving these fights and just being consistent damage. Because really, this Legion team, I mean, they do have an insane amount of upfront burst damage. Bombardier, Magnus, Parasite, they just got a lot of upfront damage, and I think that's what they're banking on. So it's a case of, sure, you know, Forsaken Archer may not be amplifying her damage the most, but at least she's going to sustain her damage, stay alive, and at least, you know, if we pick off 1 or 2 heroes and she's still fine in the background, that then we can come clean up. So I kind of think that's where Ghost's logic stands right now in this game, but yeah, that can prove to be at the same time a little bit risky. If they don't get that quick kill because of all that upfront burst damage, say because Jeriah gets a clutch heal or whatever at the last second, then you do lose a lot of that potential. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, obviously, as we are sitting in a pause here still. Hopefully to resume, though, in the near future. You mentioned Portal Key on Tempest. Could be a very good pickup, but still no Portal Key just yet. Only about 700 gold saved up, so it ain't coming anytime too soon. And, you know, maybe our Legion team needs to really start taking advantage of that. But, I mean, they have tried kind of. But, again, we've had some very, very timid play here from both sides.
Yeah, the other thing, kind of the sleepers we haven't really talked about in this game is Torturer. He does have a shrunken head and still offers quite a bit in these team fights, especially if he doesn't get locked down before he pops that shrunken head. That's going to be really key because he has a lot to offer. I mean, that stun is going to be very, very important considering they actually don't have that many stuns. They have a glacial, what's it called? Glacial Blast from Tempest. Not really the most reliable stun. It definitely is quite good, but and then the Ice Imprisonment from Glacius. You can't really expect a Glacius to be up front in the lines as a level 9 Glacius getting that, you know, very, very secure stun. Just not going to happen. But Torturer with that shrunken head, he can do that. So Pablo Dad also has another 2,600 gold pulled up, and we'll see what he buys. But I actually think he needs to save that for a buyout because if he does get locked down before that shrunken, that could be very, very bad.
Yeah. Now, Parasite, I don't know if you actually talked about, obviously we mentioned the initial codex, but he is leveling up to level 3 now. He did choose to go Steam Boots as well eventually, which is kind of interesting in itself. But level 3 codex, so that even goes more to just even more burst damage, obviously, that we keep talking about. So, yeah. But again, this has definitely been just such a timid game here. But what do you think of that, though?
I don't even know if, to be honest, I don't even know if I like the codex pickup this game at all. I think something like a Portal Key would have been much stronger. Portal Key and Hellflower onto Parasite. I think it's very, very strong against the Magebane, all these heroes on the Hellborn side. Specifically the Portal Key because, I mean, had this not gone to late game and the Nullstone being picked up by Tempest, before that point, it's very, very easy to get yourself in a good position and then just Portal Key, cancel that Tempest ultimate right away. So I definitely think Portal Key would have been a little bit better. And also the Steam Boots, I feel like you're just so slow and clunky with Steam Boots on Parasite. It's really hard to get into a good position. So, yeah, we'll see how he kind of combats in these team fights with those items. And he did pick up a Bound Eye, so that's going to help with some counter warding. So, yeah.
Yeah, I actually just saw that as well, and obviously is, 38 minutes in, 38 and a half minutes in, this game has continued to be a very slow-paced game, and what better way to try to maybe speed it up a little bit by getting more and more map control as a result of a Bound Eye and starting to counter ward. You know, he's not your Tundra, your Slither, or anything, or your Fate even in that sense, but at least having a Bound Eye on the team is very useful. Magma's playing very aggressive up here in the Hellpoint jungle by himself, but he's just farming up some creeps, and he is safe. As you can see on the mini-map, there's really no vision around whatsoever coming out from tdM, so he's more than fine. But, man, oh, man, it's been getting close now to about 20 minutes here of just farming, man. It's just been farm for both of these sides, and neither Forsaken Archer or Magebane are really exploding necessarily. Again, they are doing very well, and they are getting higher and higher. Actually, 500 gold per minute now on Forsaken Archer, which is great. Doesn't seem like it's to that point of just unbelievable farm by any means, though, especially with how much free farm we've been having, it seems like. But she does have 5,700 gold saved up. Obviously, has 2 buybacks, so, again, in a very intense game like this, buybacks can be very important. Does keep going back to you, though. I mean, her damage output isn't necessarily the strongest right now, and she could definitely invest into something like a wing bow, something like a Savage Mace here even, for just raw damage to assist with that. But that would take her away from buyback money, and there we go. Fooled ya. Yeah.
Oh my
Maka
god.
Brilliance on Forsaken. No, she ended up selling it because I'm either a troll or a misclick, but she goes to Savage Mace in the end. So there you go with the raw damage.
Jesus. I was like, you gotta be even they said.
That's funny.
But that would have been crazy.
Now it's Magebane's turn. He has 3,900 gold saved up, so we'll see. Yeah, and something to keep in mind, the Hellborn team can't actually see, but obviously won't tell him anything. But double damage rune on Forsaken Archer. They're going to go for Congor. Now, Congor has not even been attempted yet, and oh my god, is he dying quickly.
Yeah, I mean, double damage, Savage Mace, with the Nullfire Blade being applied to that. They have no idea on the Hellborn side. That attributes, look at all the warding coming out from center. Ward here in the mid, ward here right where the observatory is, ward here to the right of the Ancients even, and then a ward here down at the bottom room. That's 4 wards that are out. Actually, 1 just expired as I said that. But a lot of wards coming out, investing in that Congor kill, but it's worth it. I mean, Congor at this stage of the game, especially when teams are being so passive for so long, it's going to come down to one epic team fight. It's going to come down to who's really out of position, and that Aegis, that token of life, is very, very effective.
Tempest Portal Key, though, man. I mean, that's what we kept saying was going to be a clutch item here for TDM, and sure enough, Minuts has that. So that's a big deal. Magebane, again, he's saving up a lot of gold. He did buy the Blessed Orb, so Frost of Skull is going to be finished for him in the near future. Again, just like for Forsaken Archer, not necessarily the most damage output item, but it's great for survivability, and it does give you an awesome attack modifier at the same time, both for attack speed and movement speed slow, especially for chasing down people. So you're right, though. This really is just going to be that big, epic fight that's going to come down to that token alive going to play a huge deal yet again. You got to figure. And they were pushing the bottom lane, but Case is like, no, I got to farm some more, guys. Push to the top lane, and once again, we'll farm some more. So here we are now, 42 minutes in. Again, you can just feel the tension in this game. You really can between these two teams. It was so much on the line. You really can't blame them, but as a spectator, it was a little bit unfortunate, of course, but hey, we're going to you just know what's coming with that really, really crazy finish here. And dare I say, taking you back to when they faced in the winners semifinals, where that Game 3 was an 80-minute bout back and forth that TDM eventually won. We're only 42.5 minutes in here, so we could have another 40 minutes ahead of us, Trail, if it's anything like that game. But
yeah, we could.
Invisible Magnus was roaming around. By the way, he finished a Demonic Breastplate, actually.
Wow.
Interesting item, but
420 gold per minute.
Yeah, that goes to show you the farm that Zai's had. It's just been phenomenal throughout this whole game. So.
One thing I wanted to mention before we get in this huge team fight real fast is that that change that happened. Actually, I'll let you just take over because this is brewing. I mean, something big is going to happen here. I'll save that thought for a later time.
Thieves and Viz, they looked like there was an opening spot, but didn't take it. Playing very safe yet again, and I don't know. I mean, Zai says, if we're not going to go, I'm going to go farm Ancients. So. He's now down here farming some Ancients.
No, but I was going to say, before that change, actually...
here we go. Magebane jumps on a Parasite, actually, using the Geometer's Bane right away, but 0 happening after that. So now Magebane, he needs to be a little bit careful here. He's going to blink over the ledge, and he will be fine. Magma stuns in, though. They catch. Who is that? That's Jeriah. Big catch, but there's a Tablet of Command to save him initially. The Hellfire was applied, and Jeriah will be fine. So this is just getting too crazy, man. Go ahead. Your point, though.
Oh, my God. They're living life on the edge. But they made that change not too long ago where if you buy the full pattern, the full recipe or pattern, whatever you want to call it, of, like, say, Maka Brilliance, that you can only sell it for half. It'd be interesting to see if she did buy that and she could only sell it for half price.
Yeah.
But they did make that change, so even if you do buy the full thing, and it's there's components involved, you can still sell it back for the full price.
Yeah, that would have been a pretty big deal, actually. But in the end, you got some breathing room there for Forsaken Archer. Was able to purchase it, of course. So, man, oh man, though, again, you can feel it right now. It's just that one epic that somebody's going to get caught here, and it's going to begin. And all hell is going to absolutely break loose. Both teams are stocking up a lot of gold. Of course, everyone still has at least one buyback. There go Magma stuns in. Is this the beginning? Piercing arrows on top of the quickly volley. Shuriken is activated. The airstrike comes out. Torture dies. But the Mana Rift just obliterates Forsaken Archer right there. He comes back up. And now he's just going to try to run away. But again, you see the Hellborn team is playing so passive. Torturer buys back. And that's how the fight will end, apparently. Wow. That Mana Rift just destroyed Forsaken Archer, though.
Yeah,
that much.
I didn't see that, but I saw Torturer there caught in a volley with the bomb ultimate coming on, and he chose not to use his Shrunken Head. I don't agree with that. Instead, chose to buy back. So definitely not the right decision right there. You don't want to trade that, right? Yeah, I saw him just sitting there with the volley on him, and then the bomb ult was just boo, 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 just did so much damage. But they're trying to pursue this bomb. Bomb does push book away, but Magebane, I think, is still going to pursue the blink and push book coming out from Tempest. There is no more push book available for Bombardier. He already used it. The sheep coming out on the Magebane, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The stun from Luna actually does help, but the slow is going to secure that kill for Noob G.
Luna, though, may go down here, so I don't know if that's worth it from Sender. Oh, he's going to try to pour it out. There's that combo, though. Do they have any stuns? Yes, they do. And Sender is going to die now. Sender cannot buy back. Bombardier can, definitely. He has the buyback money, but that was really unfortunate for its Gosu. Some big kills happening for tdM again. What is such a slow game when it comes to kills, especially at 45.5 minutes in. Any kill that happens is going to be significant and that much more amplified. They take out the bottom tower now. He's not buying back, and I agree with that. Obviously, they're not pushing the base or anything like that. You do see the leading team,
Tempest just use your ultimate on nothing.
Oh, did he?
No!
Did he really? Holy crap, he did. Was that had to be misclick? I mean,
no, he used it to try to get the Magmus and canceled it right immediately because Magmus had already blinked out. Oh no, minus. I wonder if Magmus knows that because it wasn't quite clear with the animation. You couldn't really tell, but I think it was. Like, yeah, I think Zai might have an idea. If they do. If they have an idea, they're going to group up and push this.
Yeah, this is It's Gosu chance. Now, Magmus is actually going to run to an invisible Glacius here. In comes Magebane. They can see another Revelations put down now. Hellflower onto Magebane by Magmus. That's a pretty good play, but it's wearing off. He blinks in. Magmus realizing he's a lot of trouble. Mana Rift, he faked it right there, actually. And a great Portal Q juke coming out from Mimsai, but Magebane still wants more. He catches Forsaken Archer, actually. This is a pretty big deal. Magebane still has a struggle, and in comes Tempest. Again, no ultimate. There's Parasite turning around. There's a split up with Geometrist Bane. In comes Jeriah. No heals just yet, though, from him. He's getting locked in the background. Is he going to Soul's Blessing? No, he's not for now. The sticky bomb's on top of him, and he gets a lot of surge, and down goes Jeriah. However, Magmus now. Magmus is very likely going to fall, and look at Magebane in the foreground, just tearing people up. He gets Forsaken Archer. Aluna's also dead. Tempest blinks it on a Bombardier, and now Bombardier's caught here, and Bombardier may very likely fall. This is getting so sloppy here in the end. We thought it was going to be such an epic fight to finish. And, the nice freeze of the last second to save Tempest. But a hat trick for Magebane. But again, that was not a team fight. That was getting caught, and they were trying to support, and, well, it didn't work in the end.
This Magebane is dishing out so much freaking damage, and it's just... like I said, that Frostwolf Skull is such a great item on Magebane. You get the mana burn on top of the massive amounts of slow. Heroes are not able to kite, even with the push book. You still can't get away from that massive amount of slow. I think it's 30%. Actually, it says 20% movement speed. I thought it was 30%. I could have been for sure, but I guess I'm wrong. I guess it's 20%. I know they changed it to where it's actually less on ranged heroes.
I was going to say, yeah.
And maybe that's just a bug.
That's
but
why it's just showing that.
I could have been sure that it was... because if you look at Forsaken Archer, it shows...
Look on the inventory of his, it actually says 30%. So it says 20% if you look on the right side.
Okay, it's just a little kind of minor bug there, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, so so it does slow for 30%, which is a lot, and it's they're doing so much. So that's kind of scary to see just how strong they were able to do that without the Tempest ultimate. Now you did say it wasn't really a team fight, as they were kind of scattered on the Legion side, but good job nonetheless by Noob G specifically to kind of take advantage of that.
Not only was that no Tempest ultimate, but Jeriah was practically useless. He got locked down in the background to where he eventually died. Now you can say that caused the Legion team to use so many resources onto him, and perhaps that's why Magebane was able to just do so much damage to the background. Oh, they tried to catch Glacius. Magmus just out of range from the Lava Surge, and despite the Hellflower applied, Glacius will be fine in the end, so good getaway there. Now Magebane with the Slayer picked up, actually. He has a Savage Mason that works. He's going to get on to Magebane. Oh, the chain reaction is just a fraction of a second too late. And Magmus stuns out just before you see Luna even running. But again, this is very dangerous. Tempest running in. He's got it ultimate. He ulties right there to Forsaken Archer. And Forsaken Archer will fall. The Soul's Blessing even coming out just to be safe. And they are just going to run through. Nice Talbot to command and cancel the port. And Noob G picks up another hat trick here. And it is just absolutely falling apart for its Gosu here in game number 3 of the Losers Bracket Finals. It looks like right now tdM maybe on their way. We'll see what It's Ghost can do to hold us off, but this tower is going to fall, and they do not have buybacks, actually. Forsaken Archer cannot buy back. Bombardier can, but without Forsaken Archer, what are you going to do? Magebane is just going to jump in the front lines, taking down the tower. Bombardier still not buying back. I don't know about that. but he is just choosing not to. They are going to lose this damage or this tower and the racks, no doubt. I mean, they're going to easily fall, so maybe that's his thinking that's gone anyways. Why buy back? He still has another 25 seconds to resurrect. They get the melee racks. They pour to the bottom lane. They're going to try to do as much damage as possible as they should. There we go. Bombardier finally buys back with 20 seconds remaining. And now the Hellborn team just retreats.
Yeah, well played there. I mean, this Magebane, that's the Bane. It's just so scary to fight against him late game, especially when you leave him alone and you have a good supporting cast. I mean, every one of these heroes is doing their job. Tempest, despite that really big blooper there in the mid with the completely failed ult, only got one person in the ultimate, but it's all that mattered. I mean, he got the Forsaken Archer. FA couldn't do anything. They couldn't cancel the Tempest ulti at that time because the only person that could purge off that Nullstone through Protective Charm is that Forsaken Archer. Well, of course, the face hug from Parasite, but you need that to ultimately cancel it. So, yeah, really good job. And Jeriah, he actually did do quite a bit there in the mid because they went on him. They went on the Magebane with the face hug. And although Magebane might have had some things available to use, like the Shrunken Head and the Geometer's Bane, but still the Repel and the heal coming out from Jeriah right after that happened.
Yeah. Now, Magebane 5,200 gold save job, so he could finish a Savage Mace, but obviously, again, with such an intense game like this, you do want to make sure that maybe you have at least enough money for one buyback, and I think that's safe to say that's what he's doing here. Now they're going to blink in, actually. Oh, they catch Parasite, who's in a Ballista currently. He gets out, but look at the damage again. Not only do they kill Parasite, but a Bound Eye drops, and Jeriah will gladly pick that up. Parasite ain't buying back for another 55 seconds, or he's not resurrecting for that matter. They're going to go for Congor. They're going to get a Token of Life here. There's no way the Legion team is stopping this, as you see some illusions here just chasing down. Magebane, 4 illusions, actually. One from Geometers and one from the Rune. But they're going to kill Congor, and man, again, what was supposed to be such an epic battle to determine this game in the end, it really has just been tdM catching its Gosu place after place. And that could very likely, seal the victory for them at this rate.
Yeah, definitely. Magebane does take the Token of Life, sells the Helm of the Black Legion, and will have that Savage Mace. Bam, it's ready, it is purchased.
41.
Savage Mace, wow. I thought he was still going to have to buy that with that gold. This Magebane is friggin' farmed. Still has another 4,200 gold saved up. My God, just shows you don't necessarily need a Rune Cleaver to still be farmed. Yeah. Granted, he is getting a lot of that farm from hero kills. He is 8-0-2, so New G playing a very, very good Magebane this game. Again, you got to stress the supporting cast. I mean, Jeriah, there's a reason why he's always banned. I mean, he does so much for a team. The heal, everything. It's just so hard to counter all of it. Parasite does a good job by countering some of it, but again, you got to go back and he does finally have a portal kill on Parasite, but I think it's a little too late. Actually stops leveling up that Codex. Magebane dishing out so much damage on a Luna, my God, and might even still pursue him. He does have the Aegis. 1 attack, 2. Nope. He does get Hex and will save a Luna for now. Uses that ultimate, that Mana Rift, and then Shrunken Head on top of that. Maybe a little hasty Shrunken Head, but still Magebane dishing out so much damage. Poor Sender.
I mean, you'll break this down. You break down this game a little bit, and you say, where are the strengths of its Gosu? It's an initiation. It's in that upfront burst. It's what we kept stressing throughout all this game. When you kind of look back and analyze the last couple of fights that have happened, again, that's why I keep saying these have not been true team fights. It's been the Hellborn team catching Legion players off guard one by one at certain points and initiating as a result, and its Gosu's been going into really all these fights, whether it's 1 or even 2 men down to an extent. I mean, they're not getting the jump. That's where their advantages stand. If they're not going to get that initiation, the jump, especially from a hero like Magnus, followed up by this Parasite, by this Bombardier, by this Forsaken Archer, they're not going to win this game. They really don't have any chance, and we're kind of seeing that more and more as this game progresses here. We're now coming up to the 54-minute mark. Magebane, as you said, he has a Token of Life after that second Congor kill. Now, Forsaken Archer, she does purchase a Dancing Blade, so she is actually getting close to a Wing Bow. Is that a... Oh, well, hold that thought actually for a second. Magebane blinks in right here. He is going to get caught. I don't think he's going to die as he splits up right there at the last second with the Geometer's Bane. Oh, 4-second stun hits him, though. But in jumps Tempest with an ultimate. Nice tap it out for Forsaken Archer, at least. Zender, of course, will follow in the background. Magnus jumps in with the Eruption. A very good Eruption, but the Soul's Blessing was applied. However, Magebane still will go down. But again, he'll come right back up as a result of that Token of Life. That's what makes this so powerful in these close games. Forsaken Archer being chased down. And Forsaken Archer will go down. The Mana Rift just absolutely rips him a new one. Magnus will fall. And Trademark Esports is seconds away, I feel, from moving on to the grand finals to face in a rematch Complexity Gaming. What a game from Trademark Esports. They definitely deserve it. It's Gosu not giving up just yet, but I don't think there's any coming back from this point here.
Noob G, man. I have been so impressed by this guy. It seems like he's playing so well in this entire tournament. Really got to give him props. It's just been really fun to watch him. I mean, granted the entire team is playing well, but him specifically, I've been so impressed with him. Obviously, the carries get a little bit more credit, and actually, there is Insania going to die yet again. That's unfortunate, but I think this game is pretty much over. I mean, Magebane is just too much of a force to be reckoned with. But yeah, like I was saying, I think these carries get a little bit too much of a spotlight sometimes, but not in this case, man. I mean, Noobji is simply playing so well.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely a name that when we've been casting Trademark Esports that constantly pops up for good reason. Like you said, sure, he is the carry player, and naturally they just tend to get more exposure and their name's called a little bit more, but I think you're right. He has been playing it very, very well and deserves that recognition. As a team, though, Trademark Esports, so deserving to be at this point. Mega Creep spawn. You see Magebane, he don't give two shits. He's just going to jump in the background with the Shrunken Head activated, just pound on it for second after the Mana Rift comes out, but he blinks away at the last second. This is basically GG. They're just having fun with it now, diving all the way into the well. Magma is barely surviving here, as yes, he's going to get taken out the last second, actually. And again, it's just a matter of being called the GGs here at this point.
Magebane has 10K, almost. Almost has 10K.
Oh, jeez. 10,000 gold saved up. He's got 2 buybacks, of course. Buybacks have been used. Yeah, we see KZ making the point that they are going to come back here. You see Torture goes down, and, well, here's a chance. Here's a chance for
easy win.
Gosu to come back, but, yeah. It's basically over at this point. I mean, with Mega Creeps especially, really all this Gosu has is they just need to charge the Hellborn base and somehow hope that they can, and I think that's what they're doing actually. They're just going to charge and just hope that somehow they can outrace the Hellborn team, but
well, there are buybacks on everybody.
They all have buybacks. So.
Except for, even Glacius is a buyback, so.
It ain't happening.
And again, Jeriah now on Magebane, still with 3,500 gold, can still buy back. Pablo already buys back. Oh my god.
Parasite dies.
2 away from Immortal is this Magebane.
Oh jeez, yeah, he might actually get it right here at this rate. Oh, they killed a courier actually. Oh, that was a Legion courier. You see the Legion team just now retreat. There we go. Congratulations are being called. It looks like it's going to be official here. Concede vote goes out. Will it pass through?
Give him the Immortal. Come on, Manor.
Immortal. No, he doesn't get the Immortal. I don't think he cares too much. He's happy that they're going to the Grand Finals, as he should be. Trademark Esports defeats its Gosi here 2-1 in the Losers Bracket Finals again. Now they'll get a rematch against Complexity in the Grand Finals as a result of that victory right there. They will be down, or they'll need to win 2 best-of-3 series, but again, they got to be happy with this because this matchup alone was $3,500 prize pool difference, and so they're at least getting $7,000. Now going to compete for the $20,000 here, so.
Yeah, definitely, and well played by both teams. A very, very good series. You always know it's a good series when it goes to game 3 in a best-of-3, but there was a lot of passive play that game in particular, but of course, like you said, a lot of money on the line. I mean, teams do not want to throw this away. And well played by tdM in the end. They had the harder carry and got the harder farm with the Tempest and Jeriah.
Yeah.
So good draft by Minot specifically. And we're going to see a very fun matchup yet again. tdM versus Complexity in the grand finals of this tournament, and we'll see who can come out on top. We talked about this. Yeah, that is going to be tomorrow at the same exact time that we always cast at. But we did mention this. I am still in favor of Complexity, and I am willing to bet in front of all of you people, if Complexity does not win the series, I will shave my head. I will. All of you as my witness.
Oh my god, I hope Complexity loses. Complexity, if you're tuning in,
it's $13,000.
It's their choice.
Head.
Come
on, you don't need to throw.
Obviously, yeah, that probably wouldn't happen, but man, that is some crazy